Well, good evening.
Hey, Steven. Good to
Hi.
see you.
Yeah, you too, Kevin. We got a small group tonight. And
Small group tonight. Thanks
that's
for your email about the April retreat.
uh-huh. Do you
Sounds good.
think you're gonna come in person
I
or
would love to come to Madison, but more likely it's going to be on Zoom.
yeah, I figured. I think that's gonna be the case for many people. And
Yeah, yeah.
that's fine. The Taiji Center is set up for that because they offer their oh, David is here, but no camera. Okay, we trust that you're there. Okay. Um, so it shouldn't be any kind of a problem. The the thing that's well, there's two things that are unique about this one. One being that it's going to be live again, like they used to be. I think you came at least once to the live ones, didn't you?
No, just to the
No,
Zoom.
just as
Yeah,
a okay.
yeah, I've worked with you in that the retreat center at Holy Wisdom,
Yeah, right.
but not a Qigong retreat.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
It's been many years before COVID, actually, before COVID, even
right.
that we weren't able to do it. But the other thing is that Don Coleman is going to be joining
Cool.
us, and he is well, he's an old friend of mine and an amazing uh, Taoist practitioner, actually.
Cool.
Um, he had his own school in Madison for like almost 20 years. That he had a school that he ran on the east side on
Cool.
Atwood Ave in Madison. So he's uh, he's been trying to retire. He's not young. I mean, he's even older than I am. I mean, uh, I think I don't know how old he is, but he's closing in on 80. And he has a tendency to kind of pull back, and retire. And I just don't want him to do that. So I just said, well, how about let's do a retreat um, together? And he agreed. So
Great.
I'm delighted about that.
Thanks for organizing that.
Yeah, I'm just real happy about it. So yeah, so that's the retreat, April 20th. You should have that in your inbox if it didn't get sent to junk. If you're interested in participating either online or on Zoom, um, it will be different from the other ones because of the presence of Don Coleman. So we'll see what it's going to be. So tonight, I was just informed just 2 days ago that my granddaughter is in a dance performance tonight at 7. So I've I know. So I'm going to end this group at 6:45 so that I can get over there and see. She's quite a dancer. She's quite extraordinary, actually, quite amazing. Of course, everyone says that about their granddaughter, I guess.
Absolutely. I do the
Right.
same thing, so I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah. So we'll end at 6:45 tonight. Uh, so the topic for tonight is going to be the lower Dantian. So last week on Valentine's Day, we focused on the heart, which is the middle Dantian. And this time we're going to practice with the lower Dantian and with that in mind. So what are these Dantians? They're not unlike the Indian system of chakras, um, but I would say that they're very integral to Chinese medicine. They're very much a part of that. So acupuncture, acupressure, herbology, all those things, they all relate to chi flow through these different centers of the body. And so that's sort of the basis of their system. But from a Western point of view, we're not familiar with that. And what we do know is that the belly, the lower dantian, is where the breath begins. So when we breathe, the lungs don't have the muscles in them. It's the abdomen. The abdomen goes down and sucks the air into the lungs, and then it compresses and pushes the air out of the lungs. So it's actually, the abdomen is actually the center of our life force energy. The ancient Chinese would say it's the center of our life force energy. And we can also say it's the energy in the abdomen is what powers the breath. Okay. And so that's what powers life. So when we talk about abdominal breathing or belly breathing, which is really central to almost all meditation practices, we're really focusing our attention on that part of the body and keeping it very relaxed. And that actually puts us in touch with what the ancients would say is the source of life. That breath is actually the source of life. And when the air element enters, that's birth. And then when the air element leaves, that's death. So that's the lower dantian. And in addition to the physiology of that, it's the seat of the womb. So, of course, in a female body, it's the seat of the womb. In a male body, it's the connection through the navel to the womb. So the womb being, I guess you would say, really the sacred place where the yin energy of boundlessness combines with the yang energy of form, and that's where life begins. So that part of the body also not only calls on the elements of the body, the basic life force energy. Like, let's say someone's in a coma, but they're still living. They would say the lower dantian is still functioning, but the life force energy is still functioning at that level. Okay, so it's not only the basic life force energy, but it also connects us back through time, the presence of the womb and the ancestors, particularly the maternal ancestors. It connects us back through time to the ancestors, and that connection sort of prevents any sense of alienation or being alone, because we're part of this ancient stream. So the lower dantian, very very powerful, very important. And in martial arts, it's considered to be, like in Japanese, in karate, it's called the hara. It's considered to be the seat of the energy that manifests as a kick or a punch or a block, that it comes from the belly rather than from the shoulders or somewhere else. It comes from that area. So we're actually channeling that extremely powerful life force energy through our bodies. And then in that case, it would be for self-defense. But in the case we're doing it, it's for spiritual awakening. Okay, so that's a lot of words. If we were born into the system, we wouldn't even be questioning any of this, but I think it needs a little translation for a modern Western thinking. So that's that. Any questions about that, about the dantians or the lower dantian? I guess I should say, so there's the lower. Yeah.
Excuse me, what is the word you're saying again? I didn't.
It's Chinese. It's two words: Dan, Dan, and then Tien, Tien.
Tien.
Dantian. The literal translation is elixir field. This gets pretty esoteric. It's actually the field of cinnabar. The color red is associated with it, and that's all in those Chinese characters. So it means something quite different if you're fluent in Mandarin, but we're not. So we just call it the lower Dantian. And then there's the middle elixir field and the upper Dantian, which is in the center of the brain. Okay, so it's part of the string of pearls. And then there's said to be one in each foot, a minor one in each, the ball of each foot, a minor one in each hand right here, and then above the head, and then below into the earth. So that's how that system is organized.
Yeah.
Okay, any other, is that clear enough? Yeah. Okay. Oops. Got to change the view here. There we go. Okay. Okay. So when we take the meditation posture of standing mountain, where the arms are just a little stiff, and when we're beginning, this is to focus our attention down. We're actually going down into the earth, to the Dantian that's down into the earth, the source of physicality. So the body came from the earth. So we focus on the earth and we focus on the body. And then when that softens, and then we sort of go into this standing one position, you can see how this relates to the lower Dantian. So the lower Dantian is like 2 or 3 inches below the navel and in the center of the body. And it's depicted as a kind of a sphere. It's an area, it's not a point. Okay, so the standing one, and then we can bring to mind with the breath, we can bring to mind just briefly this alignment of the body. And what the alignment is it lines up all the Dantians, all the way from the center of the earth, the belly, the chest, the brain, and then above the head. It sort of lines all of that up. So physically, we're standing upright. And then sort of metaphysically, we're lining up a column that will connect heaven and earth, what they would say, heaven and earth. Okay, and now let's just bring our hands up. Well, there's a number of ways to do this. One is just to have the hands a couple of inches in front of the lower Dantian. And we want to completely relax the belly. Just feel it expanding and then relaxing. Keeping in mind that it's expanding, our hands are in the front, but it's expanding all around. It's a sphere, so it's expanding 360. So on the out breath, it shrinks down, it's contained in the body, it's kind of concentrated. On the in breath, it expands out even beyond the body to the hands. Okay, very good. And you can do reverse breathing here. The belly's going to keep doing what it does, but with the out breath, you can imagine and feel it expanding out. And with the in-breath, you can feel it concentrating. So that's reverse breathing, and that's fine too. Do whatever feels good. Okay, so we could stand in this posture for the next 30 minutes. And this would just simply be a standing meditation, focusing on what they would say is mind in the belly. Okay, very good. Now, another way to do this is to sort of make a triangle with the hands. Your thumbs will be right about at your navel, and you're actually touching. You're on the body. Lightly. Okay. Okay, very good. And then we can go to breathing crane. And so this is where we can actually sit down, in breath, out breath. So this is one of the whole body breathing movements. Now the hands, they're resting on this surface of this sphere, which is very big. It gets very big. And just let the hands rest on this sphere that's centered in the belly. And then so you can move the hands away as much as you want to, as long as you still sort of feel like you're in contact. Okay, very good. When you get comfortable with this breathing, then just try the reverse breathing. So you expand out on the out breath, and you compress on the in breath. So it's whole body breathing. So in fact, the whole body is breathing. Actually, all the cells, the reason we breathe is to bring oxygen to the cells. So all the cells are taking in oxygen, putting out waste products. So the whole body literally is breathing. Very good. Okay, let's do a couple more. Okay, reduce the movement. Okay. Now, so this is from Ken Cohen. So take one hand and place it behind on your back, lower back, behind this front one. So as even as you can. You have to twist your hand. It's might be a little awkward at first. That's okay. But just and now, so again, breathing crane. That the hand and back moves backwards and then comes back. And once you get over a little bit of awkwardness with this, this brings a much deeper focus. Remember last time we talked about the seen and the unseen. So what's in front of us, that's the seen, that's what we can see. What's behind us, we can't see. So that's the yin and the yang. So it's the light and the dark, and so by doing this practice with the front and the back, it's balancing um, the seen and the unseen, the known and the unknown. Okay, good. Okay, now let's just go to, we're heading for flying crane. So just let the breathing crane, just let it get very big. And then we'll just transition into flying crane. So the traditional flying crane, it makes a basket at the lower dantian, and the arms begin to come out. And this goes with the breath. So the arms are moving as if through warm water, that they're effortlessly floating. They're powered by the breath. And it's just effortless. Okay. And as we go into flying crane, now you can do 2 breaths per movement because the movements are bigger. So this is breathing, bringing in the middle dantian, of course, the lungs and the arms and so on, but it's always going back to the lower dantian. Okay, very good. Let's reduce the movements. Okay, very good. And then just to reinforce the alignment, so let's bring, the hands can be on the body or slightly in front. And what we're connecting with is the palm of the hand. So it's the palm of the hand that's over the center, not the fingers. It's so the palms are actually lined up, the center line, because that's the connection to the hand. Okay, now doing breathing crane here with the lower and the middle. Okay. Okay, very good. Very good. Let's just return to standing. So the phrase that's used in the teaching is mind in the belly. We just drop our attention down into the lower dantian. This is very, very calming. So just before Don Coleman and I were going to do a retreat together, 2 days before, he became very, very ill, had to be rushed into the emergency room. And he had all kinds of medical problems and surgeries and so on. And I said, well, how did you cope with it? And he just looked at me and said, mind in the belly. That could be useful in the dentist chair or any other stressful place. Mind in the belly. Okay, let's loosen up a little bit here. Just bounce just a little bit. Okay, so there's a part of the morning routine that's called raising qi to the dantians. And the qi from the earth, the ancestral qi, is said to be just the fundamental vitality of life, of all living things. And so the practice is, we'll just do the backwash, and then we're going to reach down with the arms as if we're picking up a beach ball. And we're going to come back up. So what we're actually picking up is this life force energy from the earth, and then we bring it and we bring it right into the belly. And there it so there it resides. And so we can practice this breathing crane here. Okay. So the perineum is referred to as the earthly gate. So this is the reason this is morning Qigong, or spring Qigong, is because it's about the energy of birth. So let's just repeat that. So go down. And we're bringing up, you can imagine this as rainbow light or some kind of sort of liquid, however you want to feel it, and bringing this in. And just awareness of your ancestors. Okay. And so this is done 4 times. We'll do this 2 more. Okay, and 1 more. So now we want to feel and imagine this this sort of glowing, energetic, radiant sort of light or energy in the body, or life force energy. And now refining the qi, so dipping the knees. So then we bring some of that up to the middle dantian. It's still mostly in the lower. We're bringing some of that up. And as we bring it up, it becomes finer. Now it's more like breath, like air. Okay, and we do this 3 times. So second one. So with the lower one, that's that life force energy, the ancestors. This is our relationships, our heart connections. And it's said the space of the heart is so big that there's no limit as to how many beings can be held in the heart, the space of the heart. Of course, it's not the organ, the heart, it's this middle dantian. And then one more time, bring this up, refining the qi. So now we have the lower dantians activated, middle dantian. Okay, and then dropping one hand, so one over each. And really feel and imagine that the body's expanding, the torso is expanding in all directions. That's good. And keep expanding it until there's sort of this field all around the body. Okay, that's also conscious. So we can be in the physical body and we can be bigger than the physical body by being in this field of awareness with the body in the middle. Okay, very good. Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and let's return to standing. Okay, and let's bring up our stool. Okay, and so for sitting, when we go into a breath meditation, so we drop the mind into the belly, lower dantian. We check that the posture is aligned. Okay. Now just see if you can locate the still point in the belly, the point where the breath first begins. So we're calling it a point, a still point, and then as the breath begins, it expands out. This is the very center of the lower dantian. So at the end of the out breath, there's a moment of stillness. And at the end of the in breath, there's a moment of stillness. So focusing on the space at the end of the out breath, drop the attention down into the still point in the belly and let that out breath just rest there. And then the in breath comes in naturally. So we're actually locating the space at the end of the out breath, that the emptiness there, we're locating it right in the belly. And you notice the mind usually becomes still in that space. And we're locating that space, that still point in the belly. Okay, we're not imagining the still point. We're feeling it, we're locating it right in the center of the body. So this is maybe one of the easiest ways to bring mind into the belly, is to find the still point at the end of the out breath and rest the attention right there. And keep it there even as the body moves with the breath. And so this is the balance point to the movement of the breath. This is the stillness. It doesn't take long for this to become quite comfortable and easy. The mind literally stops thinking. So this is the source of the life force energy. It's right in this point. And when we're resting at the end of the out breath in that point, we're open to the flow of that mystery, the mystery of life. So that in-breath gives birth to ourselves from that point. So we're simultaneously aware of the movement of the body with the breath and the still point that's in the center of the breath. We're aware of all of that at once. Okay. So just remember when you're seeking, to drop the mind into the belly, when you want to be very relaxed, calm, when you want to be very centered, bring the attention there, and at the end of the out breath, just stay there. And when you're there, everything can come and go all around you. And you're aware of it, but at the same time, you're in that still point. Okay, so let's take a few more breaths and go ahead and move your fingers and toes a little. Okay. And on the count of 3, we'll clap our hands. 1, 2, 3. And massage your face, head, whatever, however you want to. And tap the kidneys. Massage the kidneys. Okay. Well, thank you for your presence and for your practice. And I hope this this amplified a little more, shed a little more light onto just this profound place in the body and how it can be utilized in spiritual practice. So I do have a minute or two. If there are any comments or questions, let's turn this recorder on.